Now a couple of days after, settled down, put everything away. We got away with it, had to take the chance, and I says, yeah, we go ahead with it. Luckily, we got away with it. Weather was kind to us. Right, I nicked this off the internet during the week. As I was ex-forces and ex-fire service, I thought that was quite good for, there's quite a few ex-forces in the fire service. Right, that's my allotment, my new allotment. That's a back garden. A railway sleeper, raised bed in the middle. Most of them scented flowers. It's working well. Training petunia, as you can see in the middle. Flamingo willow in the middle. And 2 poo dahlias on the outside. Love me Gladys. This was a one-off I had. So I've put him down for get cormous out of him. So I can get more each year. Right, going down to Cradley Town Football Club. That's where our gardening club is. As you can see, we've put it on their sign as well, advertising that. That's looking up their drive, which needs a bit of tarmac when you've got the money, although everybody's in the same position. That's one of our old trading sheds off the allotment site. We put it up here on the ground because that's where all the equipment is used, kept in there. Tabletops, trestles, marquees and so on. This was 3 days before the show. I legged it up there. Open the old doors up. Still got the old signs when we used to be down there. Photos, we used to be down the old place. But just making it a bit easier for getting the stuff which we need first. There's some tabletops here, there's some underneath there, and there's loads of trestles there. That was the other marquee underneath, which is still boxed up brand new, which was the original one we had to buy. Got no choice. Taking stuff down. I'm taking all my mates off to Zoomers who turn up and I'm going to get a bottle of fish. Right, I've got that ready for when we go down. Couple of gladdies ready. These are 2 days early, so what I've done, I'll put them in the garage in cold water, meaning them in the dark as well, hoping to keep them back. I mean, he's perfect for showing now. He's going to be no good for the show, but I'll gear to go. And then they're no good for the show, I'll put them in the vase, as I've done there, and just bung them in the living room, so you got a bit more colour. They always come in, but love me Gladys. Right, Collingate Gardening Club, as you see there, 40th annual show. That's Nick Brake on the front cover from last year. He bought his heavy awning up. We should see him later on all. This is going through the schedule, getting my stuff ready, i.e. before the show. So what I'm doing is collections, Colley's collection, which is onions, and masterclass. Colley Master Gardener, I like going into them too as well. These are 2 top big ones. Extras, 3 collarettes, dahlias, I'm bunging them in. Homemade wine, I did them a while back. Made sure they was already them in a crate ready to go up. Pot plant flowering, I'm bunging one of them in as well, on the Australia. Roses, if I've got any, unless the rain splatters before, and sweet peas, I'm putting them in as well. As long as I'm ready. Before the show, you get one of these in the schedule. Just put in the class number and how many exhibits you're putting in, and that's what I've done there. So that's all my entries. And when I go in, I shall give that to the secretary. When we get to the show. Right, this is show morning. This is setting up. This was a Thursday before the show because they forecast rain on the Friday when we should have set up. Luckily we had 8 volunteers because you need 8 for either side. And the gods was with us because it should have been windy and whatever. But it was a good. Dave come down with his son, good lad. And Jim from off the plot. His ex-forces, good one. Neville and John. Once you've got the framework up, you put the cover on the top and then lift it. That's why you need 4 either side to lift it all together so it's nice and level. But that's where we have our meetings, in there. So the marquee's here. That's Marky works behind the bar, and a good lad. He was cleaning loads of chairs for us for on the show night. Right, one marquee. We've got 4 lengths of tables out. Okay, that one was warped, so I put it back in there under that lot. But we got spares. Put a sign up, Colley get a Garney Club. And that doorway is tied up, as you can see there. That's my liquid fish from my Zoomers that turn up. I'll come on to that one in a minute. Only one person tripped over it. We can get away with that next year. We take that out. This is when I come back up later on, do a bit more work. So I've got Rosie with us. But it's just taping, white tape, over there on the bottom. It's just stop the wind blowing them, and if it does rain, the rain's getting in. You can just make out the white tape there. It's just sealing it a bit better, but we got away with it. Right, quick purr from the bedroom into the back garden. You see Hartley next door, he likes his garden. He don't like his. In fact, we ain't seen him for 3.5 years, or anybody. And there's either a fox living in there, or well, he's living somewhere, because I'm trying to deter him. He keeps going and nicking me stuff. Right, day before the show, I'm going to load up the motor. I need my ladder, take down a couple of holes. Right, that's coming through the entrance. And a nice sign there on the side of our shed. Right, parking up there. 9 o'clock we got there. And all I'm doing is levelling up these tabletops. So I've done 2 there, and these lot will be going out to mark the classes. And I made that for the measurement between each row. He's just taking the pea out of me little strapper. Paul's missus has a good one. I'd done some bacon, sausage, mushrooms and babs with sauce. So I had breakfast before I come out, but we're going to try and turn them down. And our mate Mark made us a cup of coffee inside the bar, bought them out. So me and Paul had a bacon butty, Boston. Schedule, that's in my pocket. That's the clubhouse we use. That's where we have our general meetings and all. That's Scott. He's the odd man in there. And this is show morning. Tim Bosworth. He come down, paid us a visit. His lad's working in Brum, so he sneaked off for an half hour. Good to see him. Always good to meet up with a Zoomer. Right, people started 10:30, started doing their exhibits. Luckily the weather was good. Steve Medica, he come down from Brum and all, put some stuff in. Always good to see Steve. This is Joanne, Jared's mother, bung some stuff in. That's who tripped over the bloody bar on the bottom. I said, this is a step, walk over it. We'll take that out next year. So people exhibiting, because there was no wind, we got away with it. Otherwise we'd have been in the crap. This is signing in. When you fill that form in like I did, there's Lynn and the Zoomer. Who's passing it over. And then they book you in, free entry with everything. And they give you little tickets to put under your exhibits. But we had quite a few new exhibitors this year, which is what we want. And hopefully we can keep them again next time. Right, this is Chris Evans and Neil Hands from Wednesbury. They always bring some good stuff in, leeks and onions. But always good to see them too. I've known these two a while. We used to be in the pot league society together. In fact, them two are still in. I've come out on it. Andy Wright from Chester. He come down last year and all. Always good to see him. He donated 4 Colleys, as we can see there. All the spare stuff goes up that corner. And he has his bottle of fish and all. And Nick from Chard. Before that, he used to live at Lyme Regis. That's how I first met him. And always good to see him. He's just having a quick rest before. There's still some grub left. An hour later, nobody's eating it, so there's Jenny from school, drive allotments in Starbridge, exhibited a nice quality pair. Joe has got an allotment down Abbey Road allotments. They turned up and all. 4 newish members of the gardening club. Joe and Amy at the back. And Joe went round with one of the judges. The 2 on the front exhibited for the first time. But this is when the judges are just about to start. There's our flower judge. There's a couple of gaps in, but we expected a naff here anyway. Exhibiting wise, because all the other shows have been the same as well. There's Dave, Dave and Baz, our veg judges. There's Joe going round with them. If I want to learn about anything, just go round with the judge. So you got them going round with the cakes and the flowers. But I'll tell you what I'm looking for. That's about halfway through. We've got no room in here for the cakes and wine. We threw them in the main bar. And as soon as the judging has stopped, and then we threw it back, i.e. as you can see in here. So the cakes went up there, and the wine went in there, and we moved everything up this end. There's a shot looking down at the onions, down to the end. That was Nick's onion, just over £11. I think Chris came second. But it's usually 6 places for that, so 2 people could have put an onion in and got an award for it. Could have put one in myself, I suppose, but running around like a blue ass. We have a class for the longest runner bean, also a class for the longest chili, heaviest onion sets. And then we have blanch leeks, intermediate leeks, super pot leeks. I used to do all these, give up now, and then normal pot leeks. This is 3 large onions, 3 the same, identical, same shape, colour, dried off. 2 green ones there. In May to put them in was chuffed to bits. Because he had a heart attack earlier on, I put them shallots in for him. Always have a good supply of tomatoes on display. The large and the cherries. You can see vermiculite. People use different things to put them up, meaning you can stand them upright. Cucumbers, Boston pear, look at them, the same shape, nice and straight, nice dark green with the flowers on. Runner beans, I always snap, make sure they're good. 3 beetroot, cabbage, some corkers there. I think Neil bought them in all, Chris. Spuds, got white variety in the red ones, and long carrots and stump carrots. Some decent ones there. Come on to the fruit. This is eating and cooking apples and the pears. The Gladys, I was chuffed with them with my prims. I got 2 cards with them. And also I chuffed with my sweet peas. It was for exhibitors. And there's my Alstrom area. I've got a second with them. So chuffed with them and all. First I put them in. And there's my collarets, my poo dahlias. I know there's only one exhibiting, but they've still got to put them in to win. And a second and a third, another third with me pickled onions. Always put a few pickle stuff in. Second with me jam. And a third there. But people's doing well on there. I think Sue and Lynn did well on them as well. It's just the cakes we was down on this year. I've got to try and get more people exhibiting cakes next year. That's where the money comes in when we auction everything off. Everything gets put in the show, stays in the show. There's no reserves. You bid for them at the end. These go well on the night as well. And people have had a couple of drinks. And the wine goes well as all, needless to say. But it was a good show. Everything went. Right, parsnips, only 3 lots in. Until then we're going to win. Nice and straight. 3, even the same. We always get not many sweet peppers this year, but there's always loads of chili peppers, which is always good to see. Dwarf beans, them are snapped as well, the same as the runners. Make sure they're not stringy. garlic well down this year. Elephant garlic, as you can see there, 2 good ones. This is any other veg not mentioned. See, there's loads of sweet corn and rhubarb. And there's Jen's melons. This is Colley's collection. We made Colin Bagley, who died on me. This is in memory of him. 2 large onions, 2 onions not exceeding 8.8 ounce, 3 large shallots and 3 pickling shallots. I'll come third there. Them was corpus. Them got best exhibiting show as well. Beautiful, them all of them. And the size of them exhibition shallots, beautiful. Worthy winner. Fruit wise, these were down on size. Was lack of rain this year with everything. The bougainvillea, I got a second with him. I was chuffed with that. And there's the case. One quiche, that's what people go for, because I didn't eat it on a night. Need to get more in. And I got best exhibit with me wine, the Cumberland brandy. But I got all the firsts, which is on the front. Quite a few cards on the back and all. So I'm chuffed with them. And they bring the money in on the night. You just put them up with a cucumber or something soft. Right, this other one, Colligate Master Gardener. I usually enter with Jason, but he's been ill, he ain't put one in. So there's a vase of 3 flowers, vase of 1, 3 large onions, shallots at the back, coursing very well there, and then a fruit of veg, a tray of fruit. But it was a good show, good turnout. I like to see that the Gladdies now, and we had more Gladdies in, better than what we did last year. This is Jim's kids, they helped us out, so I gave them a rosette sheet, and they was over the moon. That's Mark's shirt for on the night. We always all 3 of us put a loud shirt on when we start doing the auction. And Sue donated a canna. I think it might have been 16 quid it got in on the auction, which was brilliant. Then we opened to the public about 6 o'clock on the night. Another new exhibitor who'll come to our general meetings. I helped him to exhibit his onions, and he got a card with them and all, so he'll be chuffed. Hope to get him next year. Lynn Griffiths is at our gardening club, and it was first time exhibiting, and he was chuffed a bit. So Steve Medica, he had a good day. And only got 3 cards, as you can see there. But brilliant all. Paul put his banana plant in, and he got a card. These 2 come to the garden meetings, and they're keen because they bought the polo shirts last week. We could do with them 2 on the committee. That's a raffle prizes ready for on the night. The auction starts at 8 o'clock. In fact, it was that busy. Nobody took any photos. He's the only photo that's took. That was Paul with his cabbage, legging it out at the end of the evening. I think we finished about 11:30, 12. Next day, Sunday morning, because they need the pitch, we have to get it up. And luckily we got away with it. We only had, I think there's 7 of us in the end to put everything away. Very short on helpers, which I didn't mention at the beginning of the show. Do we need help? I should have mentioned it at the end as well. But stacking everything away neater than what there was before. But we got away with it weather-wise. Because if it had been piddling down, we got to dry this off eventually later on. But when we dropped that between us, 4 one side, 3 the other, we then dried that off and folded it while it was on the top. And when we took the sides off, just get a bit of moisture if there's any on them. But we got away with it. There's Dave doing his, who flung down was it? Right, for our sponsors, I have to get 2 large onions out and 2 leeks, and I've dropped these all off this morning. That one goes to Ashworth's Nurseries, that one goes to Shinar's Balti House, and leek goes to Beard's Florist up Colligate, and 1 Blanche leek goes to Graham Wade's hairdresser down Lye. So that's the one I give Shinar because we have a delivery on a Sunday night. and we did a swap. Another felt in the garden, and just see me canners. There's 3 of them out there. There's one just behind there, just about on. There's my second flower and with all my delphiniums, and they're just coming out. But a good bit of